Hello and welcome everybody to the Xbox International Airlines. We are now getting ready for Flight 26. But before I introduce our flight crew, chat, how are you all doing? Hope you are all doing great, awesome, and fantastic. So, everyone, please be seated and fasten your seatbelt because, as always, we get wild, crazy, and sometimes sexy. So, introducing first, the man who spent his Friday night building a smoker grill and didn't play Fall Guys with us. The man who, after he finished building his smoker grill, has been posting his picture of the meat he cooked, even on the newspaper, which seriously, even saw it on Dominican newspaper here. Also, the man which me and Sourbloww will go on and visit, which he will be buying and cooking the meat for us for free. Our captain, Mr. Silent Cypher. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Crazy. Doing great. Happy that we're halfway through the work week. Happy that we're back here talking some video games, hanging out with this awesome chat that's blowing up right now, it looks like. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Let's get into it.
Yep. It's gonna be one fire day because we got a warm subject to talk about. So now, introducing the man which this week I have no introduction for. Seriously, I don't have nothing on him this week to pick on him for, except for Star Citizen. Oh, he forgot something we talked about today, but I was like, I'm not gonna add it because, he got a little bit, he was a little bit busy, so I'll forgive him. But I think I do have something for him. Yeah, the man who is trying to be an insider like the Plume Network, Mr. Sourbloww. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's a little internal joke with Plume and me, but happy to see the chat's blowing up, like Silent said. Happy to be with you guys. It's probably my favorite day of the week, other than maybe the weekends when I'm with my kids, my wife, etc. But I do enjoy being with you guys.
Same here, buddy. Same here. Always having fun, and always a pleasure to see you here every Wednesday. Same as our captain, which of course he went off the camera because we know he's getting dressed up and to look pretty. But anyways, last but not least, the man known to be God to his XBI panel members. I am always gonna say that because yes, to these guys I am God Louis, even though a lot of them say I am Goofy Louis, but no, I am God Louis to them, and only to them just in case. The man who again was trying to wrestle against the goose, but nothing happened. I don't understand why goose are supposed to chase you, but these goose didn't chase me or nothing. I tried to chase them, but nothing happened. It was they chased after him, but they didn't come after me. So I felt kind of bad though because I was trying to pick a fight with them. But either way though, the man who now has a title for his own video game as the Untitled Louis game, which I left that from last week, but okay. The crazy one, Mr. Crazy Louis. How am I doing? Well, I'm doing pretty good. I've been pretty busy, and I'm gonna have a really busy weekend. Actually, really happy to sit down with you guys, sit here, and again, we got a really warm subject to talk about later on, which is gonna be really hot. So now, it's time for me to check in with our passengers. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to that beautiful, awesome chat. Let's start with, I already said hi to you, Sourbloww, so you don't count. Hello, Mr. Dark, how are you doing? Jay Vargas, happy to see you, brother. Man, Jay Vargas, you've been out. I mean, after the Celtics lost, man, I picked on them a couple times, and you weren't here to enjoy that, man. Seriously, you weren't here to enjoy that. I even said that the Celtics lost because they didn't have Larry Legend, so you missed that, bro. You missed that. Mr. Grasso, how are you doing, sir? Hello, Bubba Fett Gaming. Happy to see you, brother. Mr. Bushido, hello, brother. Happy to see you here. And I guess that is everybody. So now it's time for me to hand it over for. No, wait, my bad. Hand it over to Sourblowed for the flight itinerary.
Hello. Yes. Since we have the flight theme, we got the flight itinerary. If you weren't here last week, you might have missed it. I'm gonna go off quickly what we're going to. Well, some of the topics we're gonna cover today. We're gonna cover a little bit of a possibility of maybe a possible Titanfall 3, Alan Wake 2. We're gonna talk a little bit about more in details of Alan Wake 2. We're going to talk a little bit about the future of digital games, which a little bit scary. And we're going to talk about the Bandai Namco roadmap. So I'm going to pass it back to... Well, actually, we're going to pass it to our captain, which he's going to take us to our takeoff. Let's get ready to take off. Our flight announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Sour has turned on the subscribe button sign. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please stow your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Also, make sure your seat is in the full upright position and that you have that notification bell clicked. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are prohibited on this flight. However, pretending like you don't remember about a meeting you said you'd attend is strictly prohibited. We're looking at you, Sour.
Yes, we are.
If you have any questions about the flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you. Back to you, Sour.
Oh, back to me already? Okay. Actually, it's with Crazy Lou.
Yeah,
Oh, our
it's back to the crazy one.
Our captain is drunk already.
I think our captain kind of got lost with those Maverick glasses. I think the Maverick glasses aren't working. I think you need to get a new pair of Maverick glasses. So, yeah, chat, get him a new pair of Maverick glasses.
So dark. It's so dark.
Well, while our captain is taking off, and before I start serving the in-flight appetizers, guys, what have you all been playing? Let's talk about that a little bit. Silent, let's start with you. What have you been playing, brother? Besides smoker grill meat.
Yeah, besides smoker grill meat simulator, as Crazy said so genuinely. I've been playing Saints Row the Third Remastered. I have not sat there and had, just a dumb fun time with a video game for a minute. And Saints Row is kind of a happy place for me. It's one of those places where even when work is bad or, things are stressful or whatever, I can go there and I can just have a series of characters that no matter what mood I'm in, like they always put a smile on my face because of how over the top those characters are. So I've been jumping into that quite a bit, playing a bunch of the side missions, doing all that stuff. I'll tell you, if you have not played the remaster of that game, it is absolutely worth the money. They put in a whole bunch of new features. They ended up doing some more like physics and visual models and stuff. I think they redid all the character models for the main characters. Everything just had an overhaul, and it's one of those love letter remasters where when you see it, you can just tell that like the people that made this cared. And that's nice because I feel like some of these remasters we get every now and then just get kicked out there. It's like, okay, here you go, like file save as up-res. But this thing, like visually, audibly, like everything about this game is so much better. Even just down to the frame rate, it's like there's a lot of explosions on screen with this game. And this game does not it doesn't chug like it used to on the old systems. When you're doing, really graphically intensive things on that game, blowing up cars, stuff like that, nothing slows down. So, if you haven't done it, do yourself a favor, pick up that game and play it. It's worth it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome! Saints Row the Third Remastered. That's pretty cool. I'll take a look at it, yeah. How about you, Saulo? What have you been playing, brother?
What have I been playing? Well, besides, the usual, Halo Infinite and Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing Binary Domain, which I freaking love that game. Thank you so much, Mr. Joanna Dark, for recommending that game for me. It kind of plays like Gears, but it has some very cool elements. I think I talked a little bit about it last week, but I was, at the very beginning. I was able to go through the game, and I was so into the story. I love the story. I love the game mechanics. It's an Xbox 360 game, but it's very cool. It's basically it's Gears meet Terminator, like Mr. Joanna Dark told me. So it's awesome. And I'm also started a franchise, a saga that he also recommended to me on my PC. I started The Fear. And so far, it seems pretty good. It's a little bit outdated, I gotta admit. It's a little bit outdated. The first one, I'm playing the very first one. The graphics are like, it's taking time for me to adjust. But other than that, I like the whole like, how can I say it? Like when you're playing, like the music, the sound, and the environment.
Very atmospheric.
Yeah, it gives you that tension, and it's pretty cool. I'm liking it. I am liking it. It's just, it's a little bit outdated. I gotta admit. Hopefully, they do a remaster or something, or a remake.
Wish.
That's cool. That's cool. So now, what have I been playing these days? I mean, we played Fall Guys on this Friday. Me and you did, Saulo. We had a little bit of fun.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, we did play that.
Yeah, we did play that. We had a little bit of fun. It was a pretty fun game.
No, it's a fun game. Every time I
it's
play
pretty
it,
fun.
it's anyone wants to
Enjoy it.
play Fall Guys, I'm down. Fall Guys, Halo, I'm
Yeah.
always down to playing.
Yep, we always down for the Halo. Yep. Me, I'm always down for Fortnite or Fall Guys. If you guys want to play it, I'm cool with it. So, what else have I been playing? I've been catching up on Elden Ring. That's what I've been playing these past few days. Just catching up on Elden Ring, playing a little bit, just to trying to level up. And every time I get close to the mark where I get enough souls to level up, I get killed twice. So I'm actually having like a bad luck streak, but no worries. I'm warming up again to be back the way I was before. But yes, that's what I've been playing, some other rings. So now, Sour Blow, it's time to go to and Mr. Silent Cypher in-flight appetizers. Let's go, let's go. In-flight appetizers, which we call it as rapid news, which consists of quick news where we will have 2 minutes for each topic, which if you get past the 2-minute mark, I will interrupt you and go to the next person. Those are the rules for the appetizers. So let's shake the hood. Let's shake this hood.
Before you pull your topic, I just got one petition.
What's up?
Okay, on the first topic, can I please go first? Because as soon as I'm done, I have to do an emergency stop.
Okay, no problem. No problem. You go.
I will use parachutes. Shoot myself down. I don't know how I'll get up again, but
number it is. I think we gotta get that wheel thing. I think that wheel thing would be pretty cool. We'll spin it. Yep, so get to spin that wheel, which is topic number 8. Redfall co-creative director talks mixing story with co-op player choice and more. Mr. Sourbloww, since you got an emergency landing, emergency jump, go on ahead first, buddy.
Oh, well, we have talked throughout the last few weeks. We have talked a lot, actually, about Redfall. We have given a lot of information. which was handed to us. Thank you to Arcane and their team. They have been recently they have been very vocal about their game, and they have been giving us lots of information. And in this update, it's very detailed. However, other than I can say like new stuff that they actually provided to us. I believe was story. I mean, they talked a little bit. Let me see if I can remember. They talked a little bit about the open world and how you can play as your character and you can build the character the way you want. And I guess even though if you play with the same character, each character can have a different build. So we can play with the same character and it's not gonna feel the same. And I don't remember what else they touched on other than everything we have already touched on, like you know, um, we can play solo. The solo story, it's gonna be a great. Uh, uh, Silent, I think it's laughing at me.
Yes, we are laughing at you.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pass it to the next person because I gotta go. You probably can see it in me.
So go ahead, no worries, buddy. Silent Cypher again with the question. Redfall co-creator director, Hawks mixing story with co-op player choice and more. Go, buddy.
Yeah, so going into what some of Sour was saying with that, yeah, there's a lot of cool things that they ended up bringing to light that we kind of touched on previously, but the fact that everyone could have the exact same character build, so you don't have to have class based on this, which is really nice for me personally, like being able to have everyone play different characters and stuff like that. I think that's what he was trying to get at, but he was struggling to get the words out. But yeah, no, they were talking about mixing the story with co-op, like the player decisions and all that type of stuff. Like actions have consequence. It kind of seems like from what they were touching on a little bit. I'm excited about that, and that's cool. But I feel like even the news that we got previously about being able to, have like the solo campaign go with you without having like AI characters jump in, or like being able to play the same character if you're playing co-op, stuff like that. I think that was a really cool thing about Redfall. Some of the details that we did get, I think that's cool. Personally, for me, that's about all I have for it right now. I feel like I kind of talked a little bit louder about it last week. But yeah, I'm at this point, man, I'm just really disappointed that the game's not coming out this year, because it feels like everything I've heard so far has gotten me really stoked about it, and I just want to play it.
All right, cool. Now it's me. And before I start on me, guys, let's give a round of applause for Sour breaking a world record on the quickest dookie in the world. Real quick, round of applause. Quickest dookie in the world. You go Sour real fast. Yeah, that's a world record. We should give that to Guinness. So, anyways,
it's like the Michael Phelps of XBI.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, anyways, let's keep on going. Oh man. Well, my thoughts on this is that what I read about today, I thought everything was pretty interesting. The thing is that I didn't like about what I read is that Arcane wants you to play this game alone. I mean, basically, it's telling you, hey, play this game alone, level up, you can progress and everything, and story progress, which each of the characters has like a different story mission thing. Like all of them have the same ending, but the way you progress in the story, each of the characters have like something different inside the story. So Arcane wants you to play it that way. They want you to go on it alone. Now, if you play co-op, let's say for example, you, Mr. Cypher, invite me to your game, and you are, let's say, Jacob or Layla, one of those two characters, and I pick Layla too, or we can pick up both the same characters. My character progress does actually go, but the story progression on my side, it doesn't happen, but yours does. So yeah, pretty much Arcane wants you to play the game alone and gets you to do your story and everything, which on that side is pretty cool. But the point where I'm saying where it's bad is, let's say I'm level 40, and I go into your game and you're level 3, you will level up to level 40 at that fast. That's the only thing I find bad about it. It should be, all together and everything like that. So on that note, that's what I thought when I read that news. It's like, damn, people are gonna be like leveling real fast and going through it. But the whole thing on them making you play the game alone is pretty cool because, like I said, each side mission of the character is different and all that stuff during the story. But the ending is the same, but just the character story of each of them is different. So yeah, let's keep on going. Let's go to our next shaking of the hood. Let's go. Let's shake the hood. Let's shake the hood. The sour blow need a petition now. Do you need another one or you don't? Do you? No.
Why is it a hood all of a sudden? Why isn't it a hat?
Okay, we could call it a hat. Shake the hat. Shake the hat. All right, let's go. Let's see what number comes out. All right.
We can call a hat. Okay.
Okay. Which is number 9. Haven Studio joins PlayStation Studio family. Let's start with you, Silent, in case you have to run away real fast.
Me? Dude, I'm good. I don't have any quick stops I gotta make. No, so I mean, I don't follow a lot of this stuff, but it is Jade Raymond's dev team and company and stuff. So like, it's cool that they're joining. Like that's great. I don't know. I mean, Jade Raymond was cool. She was integral back in Assassin's Creed days, like early on. Which I enjoyed. And then she shifted over to a few different things, kind of bounced around. But I don't know. I'm not super excited about this one, just personally. Like I think if there's anything I would take away from this, I would argue like it's really interesting that every time that Sony buys a company, no one throws a fit. But when Microsoft tries to buy anyone, oh, it's a monopoly. That's about all I want to add to that one. Is I feel like maybe there's a little bit of hypocrisy there that needs to be checked at the door. I'll pass it on now.
All right. Mr. Sour Blue, what do you think on PlayStation? What do you think on Haven Studio joining on PlayStation Go?
Okay, like Silent, I don't really care that much about that topic. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it around a little bit and I'm going to say that this acquisitions actually helps Microsoft because that means that their competition, it's getting bigger. So for their, Activision Blizzard purchase, that means that gives them a better chance of, the purchase going through. Because if we look at the last few years, this year and last year, Sony has been pretty active, actually. They've been buying many studios. Of course, nothing in the scale of, Bethesda or Activision Blizzard, but they have been making their move. And when the generation started, it was like, 15 studios to 6? So, this does got me hyped because, like, at the end of the day, competition is great. And if Sony does their own thing and these studios, come and bring their games and their games come out good, then, that kind of puts pressure on Xbox to try to deliver. And, time is running down. And, I think 2023 is the year that Xbox has to start delivering. If not, things are, we're gonna have to start to worry if it doesn't happen.
I wouldn't worry that much. But anyways, let's start with me on my thoughts on the whole.
I think Silent has something to say real quick.
Oh,
can I take 5 seconds? I defer.
Go ahead.
Sour, you and I both know that it's not going to go like that. There's no way that Microsoft's going to be judged equally just because Sony's been buying other companies. everyone's still going to throw their glasses out of the windows
Well,
and scream violently
well,
when Microsoft buys something.
fanboy is
versus-
one thing, but I'm talking about the people that actually make the evaluation for the purchase.
No,
like
it's not, and it's not only fanboys.
Boys are the vocal minority, sir.
It's not only fanboys. I mean, pretty much everybody. I mean, the other day, I think it was in Europe or something. They were talking about seeing the whole Activision purchase and sit down and take a look at it. If Microsoft is gonna ruin Activision with the quality and a whole. But I mean, when I read that, I was like, what? I mean, but I don't want to get into it. Let's go into PlayStation. Haven Studios joins PlayStation Studios family, and no, I'm not gonna go into that. What I was just saying, but seriously, oh man, just people. Oh, but okay, all right, let's keep on going. So, Haven Studio joins PlayStation, which in a good way, I'm actually happy because PlayStation needs to work on the multiplayer side of things, and they really need to upgrade on that side because all they've been doing is single player, third person action game like Uncharted, you got Horizon, you got all this, and I said, like for example, a lot of people talked about it, like The Last of Us, I think it's Factions mode, I think that's what's called, and people used to play it a lot back in the PS3 days, and they talk really good about that multiplayer. So I'm really happy that they bought the studio, which is also going to help them and work on the multiplayer setting part, because they really do need to focus on that. They really do need to push multiplayers out there, especially PlayStation, because they actually have, like, out of all of the games, I think it's one, which is Uncharted. That's it. They don't have nothing else. But yeah, I'm really happy that they actually grabbed that and they're going to push out more multiplayer stuff into their content, which is pretty cool. Really good. That's a good purchase on their side. Good job, PlayStation. So yeah, let's keep on.
They especially need to work on their multiplayer content.
Yep.
Since they're going to start charging
Yeah.
$70 for it.
Haven Studio,
Lord.
as I'm aware of, they're working on a multiplayer game, just like I think it's called Deviation Games.
Yeah.
They're also working on a multiplayer game for them. So
Well, I still maintain, like, if Sony's going to use anything to learn from this, they definitely need to utilize their experience in the multiplayer aspect. Because if you're going to start charging $70 for multi, you're probably going to start needing to up your quality a little bit on multi.
That's a good question though. Are they going to charge $70 though?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
you know that, but
I know that money talks. But that being said, I've been wrong on a few things recently, so I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch and see how it goes. When everyone gets angry,
my crystal ball is broken, but I know that.
All right. Well, let's go for one more, right, guys? Let's go for one more. See what comes out from this beautiful blue hat. Seriously, we gotta get that video. I'm gonna order it. All right. We got number one as the last one, which is Ubisoft announces Skull and Bones. I think we should add something real quick, and we should add it's going to be more expensive than expected at launch. We should add that to number one, right? Yeah, let's add that real quick right there too. So, Sour Blow, what do you think about Skull and Bones and them making the game more expensive than what we all think it is? Seriously, I mean that game is expensive. So go for it.
In the first place, first of all, I saw the presentation, I saw everything, and honestly, that game does not grab my attention. Like, gameplay wise, I didn't see anything that grabbed my attention. It just doesn't motivate me. And then $70 for that game, better luck next time. Sea of Thieves is gonna keep dominating the seas, I guess. That's all I have to say. I don't even have to use my 2 minutes for that.
Yeah, what? You don't talk a lot about that? It was a pretty game. I think it was beautiful.
It looks alright, but at the end of the day, gameplay for me over graphics.
Alright, I get you, but I know you're a big Sea of Thieves fan. I know that for a fact because you play that a lot. So
Actually, I
Silent Type.
haven't played it in a
Oh,
while, to be honest. But
oh,
yeah,
that is true though. That is true. I haven't
yeah.
played that in a while. I do agree on that. We've been busy, yeah. But anyways, Silent Cipher. Tell me your thoughts on Ubisoft Skull and Bones and they charging $70 for that game. Go.
I, all I gotta say is one, finally, after all this time and how many times that they, announced like, hey, this thing's a thing, we're bringing it. I got really rough Beyond Good and Evil 2 vibes from this whole scenario. I'm surprised that it's actually coming out. I figured it was vaporware, just like Star Citizen. But if we're talking about real games, which apparently this is a real game, I do have to say I'm underwhelmed. I've been going back and I've been playing the old Assassin's Creeds, and I feel like Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the ship game that I want to be playing. After I watched their in-depth dive, I watched the stuff on it. I still feel like the game that I could have bought on Marketplace for $20 right now that still looks really good on the Xbox is more impressive, personally, to me. I feel like there must have been a lot of turbulation in the process of making this game based on how many times we saw it come out, then suddenly just disappear off the grid. And, it feels like in this trailer, there's a lot of proof that this thing has been through turbulence, and I'm just not getting super excited or about that price point, personally.
Yep.
Like barely making rent said in the chat. Just give it a little bit of time, it'll go on sale. And I agree 100%. Like I think within 6 months, easily.
Right. Well, my thoughts on that are quick and easy. Because Barely Making Rent said something that I totally agree upon, and I even said it on one of my Good Morning videos that I posted on Twitter. When I saw Skull and Bones, I said, okay, this is cool. This is cool, this is fantastic. But this is what I would have done if I was Ubisoft. Let's say Ubisoft handed me that to me and said, hey, Crazy Louie, what would you do with this? You know what I would have done? I would have grabbed literally Black Flag. I would have made a remake, remastered, whatever they want to call it, but I just would have made the game from top to bottom and make it for this new generation of consoles. And right there, I would add the Skull and Bones to that game as a multiplayer, and then put the price for $70. Because really, if that actually happened, I would pay the price, $70 for the game enhanced. And for Skull and Bones multiplayer, I would pay for it because out of all the Assassin's Creed, Black Flag is my favorite. I love it. It's one of the best. The ship battles, how you grab the rope and jump to the other ship, and seriously, I spent a lot of time in the ocean catching fish and all that cool stuff. Not fish, sharks, whales, going into water for treasures. A whole bunch of stuff. Seriously, Black Flag is a cool game, and that's what I would have done. I would have grabbed Black Flag, HD it, remastered it, whatever, and put Skull and Bones as part of the multiplayer. And that way, seriously, I would say it's worth the $70. So yeah,
Crazy.
What's up?
Real quick for you on that though. So like I mentioned, I think Black Flag is still, it's like $19.99 for the regular version. So you're saying that the extra $50 would be worth it?
Like we said, it's the regular version, but if you enhance it and make it like I said, from
right,
and make it like for this console generation, and the word is what's the word? Is actual actualizar. How do you say that in English?
Actual
Oh crap!
update it.
Update it. If you update it, update it to this generation, then yeah, I will definitely be worth the $70. Let's say $30 of Assassin's Creed, $40 for Skull and Bones into that, then it would be pretty cool.
Even though it would have failed.
It would have done better, but
It would have done better, but yeah.
it could. I mean, It could or it could actually be good. We don't know
I
that yet.
I think you're on to something crazy in the fact. And
No,
sorry, I'll make it short, but
no worries, no
I
worries.
think you are on to something in the fact that if you tied it to Black Flag, we know that Black Flag is a fairly known sum. Like that one was
No.
pretty well received,
Oof.
generally compared to
Yeah,
some of the others. So if you tied Skull and Bones to that, that would probably help.
yeah,
However, I feel like as much as I would love to see something like that happen, I feel like there's just not going to ever be that occurrence because it's mixed messaging where it's not actually an Assassin's Creed game, right?
yeah. Totally agree. I totally agree with you there. I mean, seriously, like
Would
I
have
said,
helped.
it would have helped a lot. It would have helped a lot because I love Black Flag and I would love to play it in these new consoles. Imagine that with Dolby Vision. Oh, lordy, it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful
Yep.
game. So before I hand the controls back to the captain, guys, please subscribe, hit the like button, go ahead and go out there and share and tell everybody that we're live so more people can jump in to enjoy the show. And also, again, hit the bell so it can tell you when Xbox International goes on. So now, Captain, take it away.
Cool. So yeah, so we're gonna get to the cruise point of this, where we're at our elevation level. So we're gonna go into main topics, which I think it should be popping on the screen. So the very first thing that we're actually going to talk about this evening is Respawn. They're reportedly working on a single-player Apex Legend game. Um, some folks think that that's a Titanfall game, but again, I'm just gonna real quick insert my stuff since I'm the captain.
Don't ruin
Uh,
stuff. Don't ruin
if it
stuff.
says Apex Legends on it, it's not a Titanfall game. And now I'd like to pass it off to Sour Blow to discuss this since he knows a little more about it.
Okay, don't listen to our captain about this because he's clueless. But anyway, first let me give the information. So, according to a job listing on the Respawn site, the team is searching for a senior engine and system engineer for an Apex Universe first-person shooter incubation project. While not much information is gained from the job posting, it does point to whoever is hired will be working with other members of the team to assist with collisions, physics, audio, low-level OS, hardware support, etc. Aside from the positions in question, another listing directly states that the project is a new single-player adventure. Now, here's my question, and this is how I view it. Fans of Titanfall franchise have been clamoring for a sequel to Titanfall 2. But since Titanfall 2 didn't do that great with sales, but, we know the phenomenon that Apex Legend is, but they both take place in the same universe. Could it be that, this game is really Titanfall 3, but they're going to use the Apex name because it sells more copies? It could possibly sell more copies that way rather than naming it Titanfall 3. They use the Apex name. And my question would be, do you think this is the possibility? And also, do you agree with this? And I will start with you, Crazy Lou. What do you think?
I have a whole laundry list of things with EA. I mean, you're starting with the wrong person right here with that subject because seriously, I mean, I'm gonna hit EA
But
hard today.
wait. You got a problem with Respawn?
I got a problem with EA completely.
No,
Brother.
but Respawn. Okay, go
Respawn.
ahead. I'll let you
All right,
talk.
let me tell you what's my problem with EA. Basically, all right. EA has an issue, and it's been going from way back. I mean, I'll give you an example. Um, they basically look at what they can get the best out of. Like for example, look, they started making single player games again, which it's good. I'm actually really happy they started doing it again because they actually do make really good single player games. And I'm happy that they got Respawn to do a single player on Apex. All right, that's pretty cool. But since Apex became so popular, okay, now let's do a single player for Apex. Let's start this going. Okay, I understand that. That's pretty cool. But pretty much, you guys on the trailers, you talk about the character and all that stuff. You pretty much have a story about the character, and I think each of them have a story. If I could be wrong because I'm not a big Apex fan, but every time they have a trailer for a new character, they show like pretty much a story about him and what he can do or what special ability he has, something like that. So, okay, it's cool that they're doing a single player, but I would prefer a Titanfall 3. I mean, seriously, I would rather them work on a Titanfall 3 and just leave Apex the way they're doing it, and keep on making it the way it is, like a multiplayer. Because like I said, ah man, if I go back, I mean, I have a grudge against them because they did not make the second part of Dante's Inferno, and that's been killing me for years, and that's been something I've been asking for the last 10 years for that game to give me part 2, and literally, man. But on the good side, it's cool that they're making a single player. It sounds fantastic, and let's see how it goes. But for me, I'd rather them make Titanfall 3 because that game deserves a third part. I mean, the way the second one was, it was fantastic. It really needs a third part. What do you think on that, Cypher?
Sour. Real quick question for you. We're gonna go through a mathematics problem real fast.
Yes.
Okay. Which is bigger? 1 million point, or sorry, 1.1 million. We'll just round up. 1.1 million. Or 4 million.
That's, of course, 4 million.
Okay. So when I tell you that Titanfall 2 sold 4 million copies and Apex Legends only has 1.1 million users, which one's the bigger selling unit?
Oh, come on. You can't really.
Now let's go ahead and humor the idea of what if Titanfall had some DLC or something that you could buy, like Fortnite. Would you say that 4 million plus a lot more than that is still going to be bigger than 1.1? Or, inflate it, let's say 3 or 4 mil.
Just go ahead, make your point. I'll make mine.
So what I'm saying is Titanfall is a name that has been around for a while. And I would personally say that even though EA didn't think that it actually matched their sales expectations, I would still say that Titanfall still stands a chance. I would argue that Titanfall came out at a very bad time because Titanfall came up against Call of Duty and Battlefield?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a really bad time to put that out there. And barely making rent, let's see. I think that was who said it. Oh, sorry. I'm missing one. Someone just told me a second ago that Apex Legends is free to play. That's, again, my point. If you're getting 1.1 million users versus selling 4 million copies, again, I would say Titanfall 2 has a higher value. It launched at a bad time, but if you had reasonable microtransactions, like Fortnite or something like that, I guarantee you Titanfall would definitely just mushroom over the sales of Apex.
Okay. You done with your point?
Sure.
Are you sure?
No, I honestly, the way I see it, I think that EA set it up to fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it had come out in a different point in time, same thing with like Apex Legends. If it had come out at a different point in time, the sales would have been different also. It's all dependent on what you're coming up against. You look at Mirror's Edge 2, right? Mirror's Edge 2 got completely destroyed because of everything else that was releasing at the time. They didn't advertise it like they should have. Again, another EA property. So this is a reoccurring theme.
Yep, with them it is. Like I said, look at Dante's Inferno. They literally kill Dante's Inferno, and it deserves a part 2. And that's a game that it keeps haunting my head. I want the second part of Dante's Inferno 2. I mean, the other day I remember I even posted on Twitter, said, please, Lordy, please make these guys make Dante's Inferno 2. And so, and this is why I have an issue with EA. For example, look, we just saw a new trailer for the new Star Wars Jedi, right? What's it called? Jedi Survivor?
Yes.
You know why they're making it? Because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order surpasses 20 million sales. Of course they're going to make it.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. EA loves this. They love the change. That's why there's a lot of microtransactions and a lot of stuff going on there. Because Apex Legends is a good game. It's not a bad game. It's a good game. I mean, you sit down, you play it. It's got the Titanfall movements and all that stuff, which Titanfall was actually a pretty advanced for its time. Not only that, even Call of Duty started copying from Titanfall, which is true, you know. But the bad thing is, they look at this more than anything, and again, I do agree with you. They should do part 3, and I hope they do come up with it, because really, when EA does a good single player game, it is a good single player game. I mean, you had Dead Space 1 and 2, which were really good until the third one, which basically it became co-op and they made it pretty much into an action game, not the horror it had before. And basically pretty much killed the theme of Dead Space. And what's up?
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
So that's the thing, though, and they pretty much kill a lot of stuff. I mean, they killed Command and Conquer. They killed a whole bunch of games just because the sales didn't go great, and that's because they don't push it the way they have to push it, or market it the way they have to market it. And like I said, Titanfall 3, I'm with you. I hope they do make it. I'm crossing my fingers how they do, because that second one, I mean, the first one, the story of the first one, if I sit down and talk to you, do you guys remember the story of the first one? No, because the story of the first one was all multiplayer, and I was like, what the hell is going on? But okay, cool. But the second one, the single player campaign, now we're talking. I mean, that campaign was freaking awesome. So yeah, I hope they do work on it, but we're getting an Apex one, so let's see how it goes, and I hope that after that Apex one comes out, they sit down and say, okay, let's work on Titanfall 3, see what happens.
So sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself earlier. So what I was saying though, and I forgot to mention, is so April numbers were at one point, it was 1.08. So as of now, because I just wanted to double check, so 2 million concurrent is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's fine. It has had 25 million users since launch.
No. Let me take the seat, because our captain is, he's having some turbulence right now. So let me help him right now.
Okay. How much is it?
So I do agree with you guys and many of your take. EA is as any company, they want to grab money. Sometimes, unfortunately, we pay the consequences, we the players, and they don't make the great decisions. So I agree with you on that, Crazy. I also agree that Titanfall, unfortunately, didn't came out in a good date. It was squished together with two titans at the time, which was Battlefield and which was, Call of Duty. And unfortunately, because of that, it only has 4 million sales, which that game should have much more than that. It's my favorite FPS, just to be clear, my favorite FPS.
I'll tell you.
And hold on, Crazy. Let me finish. And as Silent said, it has a total sales of 4 million. 4 million sales. However, with Apex Legends, they have
Apex Million. There we go. That's the new name.
Yes, the new names. It's a good name for it. It does have concurrently only 2 million, but that's concurrent player, and it has had a total of 50 million players.
47.
Well, I see here it has been updated to 50. Well, maybe it's wrong, but 47 is pretty close to 50. Okay. It's not 2. So, it is free to play, but at the end of the day, what counts is player counts right now. and Apex Legend is a huge phenomenon. Of course, there are other phenomenals that are, above it, like Call of Duty, like Fortnite. But after that, it's probably Apex Legend. And at the end of the day, as a business, I gotta understand that, Apex is the bigger name, even though I am a Titanfall fan. But at the same time, it's in the same universe. So as long as the game is in the Titanfall settings and they give me that great Titanfall 2 experience, if they can give it to me with this, for me this will be Titanfall 3. No matter what you name it, you can name it Peppa Pig Fall, or you can name it whatever you want to name it. As long as you give me that great experience, I will be fine with that. And what I would do, hold on, crazy, hold on, I'm almost done. I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
What I would personally do, and what I recommend, EA, if anyone from EA is listening to this, or anyone that knows someone from EA, please make this suggestion. In order to make both fans happy, why not use both names? You can use the Titanfall name and you can use the Apex name. Like, you can have a title like, Titans Fall, the Return of the Titanfalls, for example. And then underneath you can put an Apex Legend story. And that will be great because, it will have the Apex Legend name and you can market it that way. But it will also have the Titanfall and you will make both fans happy. Of course, you have to give us the great experience you gave us with that Titanfall. To me, that's the best, FPS. Period.
Yep.
That's for me, my opinion. And I freaking love that game. But that's what I want. I want the experience. I don't care about the name at the end of the day.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Can I jump in now?
Yeah,
Now
go
I can
ahead.
jump in
Now
now?
you can jump in. Yes.
Okay. The failure of Titanfall 2 comes from part 1. It doesn't come because Titanfall 2 is a great game, but because of Titanfall 1, because of the way the game was and the multiplayer and stuff like that, when Titanfall 2 came out, because again, it came between Battlefield and Call of Duty, all right? Yeah, it did. I'm telling you, because again, like I said, if we sit down and we talk about the story of Titanfall 1, nobody paid attention to that damn story. Nobody was like, what the hell is going on? All we do is landing here and just shooting each other up. There's one side, another side, and we're shooting each other up, but that's it. That's all that was happening in the game, right? That was it. But like I said, when Titanfall 2 came out, the story and everything, the campaign, when we bought and sat down and played, we were like, whoa, this is different. I mean, people who actually sat down and played it were like, damn.
Bring that plane up quick because we're dropping fast.
No. I'm being honest with you, though.
No, go ahead. Keep going. What I mean is
I'm
keep
being honest with you
going.
because
I want to see how you're gonna bring it back. But
because this is the point I want to make. Because like I said, Titanfall 2, the story was better than the first one, a lot better.
The first one has no story.
It did have a story. That's the thing. Nobody didn't pay attention to it.
It's multiplayer, but it's not.
Exactly. It was just terrible. The game was good, but the story was like, it sucked. But the second one came out with the story,
really
and everybody was like, eh.
Or so you're gonna say Apex Legend has a story then?
No, wait. No, wait.
It's the same thing.
Different.
It's the same thing. What do you mean?
No. That's different though.
Oh my god.
Because this is the point I want to get. This is where I want to get to the point, right? Tell me how many single players EA made the last generation. I think we can count it in one hand, probably. Probably was one or two. I don't know how many. But then the rest was all more multiplayer and the campaign were like really small. For example, one of the best campaigns I played is from Battlefield 3. If you never played Battlefield 3, and I mean, I can sit down and tell you this part of the game, especially the part when you jump into the jet.
No spoiler.
Scene. If not, don't worry, it's no spoilers. It's just one mission.
In case
you jump into it.
Not a spoiler, but I'm just gonna spoil one mission.
No worries, but no, it's just to give you that idea. You jump into that jet and the sound and everything of that thing. How the jet launches from the hovercraft.
Okay.
That's freaking crazy. I mean, I was watching it the other day and I got goosebumps again. And I remember I just played the hell out of that multiplayer, and the campaign was freaking fantastic. And literally, EA was just killing little by little their campaigns. And when they came out with Titanfall 2, like I said, it was better than the first one, way 100% better. Because the first one had a story, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? All I know is this dude jumps in here, you're on this side, or sometimes you're on the other side. You're like, you gotta take down that guy. But like, okay, let's go. Stuff like that. Like, I don't understand what's going on, but okay, let's go take him down. But seriously, like I said, EA, if right now they're starting to focus more on the single player games, which I'm really happy, which they do make good single player games. And on the Apex side, you got Respawn working on it, so you don't have to worry about it. It's gonna be good if they leave Respawn do its thing. It's gonna be pretty much like a Titanfall type of
Well,
playing thing, but without the Titan.
well, I gotta say
That's
real
it.
quick. Sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
In that, I gotta give it to them. At least Respawn, they have been pretty hang off with them. That's the
Yeah.
only. That's like the only team they have given them like full liberty. Like, you guys know what you're doing. You guys do you. That's like the only team. Even though they did had a little issue a few weeks ago when they kind of threw their little tweet against single player games. I guess Respawn wasn't happy with that. But, other than that, they've been pretty hands off with them, and they have let them do their job, which,
Um,
on Respawn side, they have delivered. So, as long as they deliver, I guess EA is going to be on their side, and they're going to let them do their thing, unlike
I just
other
again,
studios, unfortunately.
I hope they let them do their thing.
Yeah,
Again,
they are,
I hope.
because they
I
know
that,
that's the studio that they're
eh,
just they're just
because
hitting them out of the park, all of them. They're hitting all the
because
balls out of the park. You throw
I'm t-
curveball
I
ball,
mean,
you throw fastball.
mm,
They're just
mm.
hitting them out of the park.
Because here's the thing, though, and I'll say this again: look at FIFA, look at Madden, look at all this stuff that's been going on with EA.
Yeah,
EA's
but
losing a lot of stuff,
but
and not
again,
only that,
Respawn,
and
they
not only
that's their
that,
baby
and
right
not
there.
okay, yeah, it could be their baby, but once they start interrupting things, like what happened with the guys with Dead Space, they literally destroyed Dead Space with the third one. Literally, Dead Space died right there, and pretty much they closed it down in
Yeah,
2017 and said they
they
literally killed it.
they killed it. But
Yeah.
there were several articles and several information where they even stated that Respawn, they just leave them. That's the
I
studio that they let them do their job. I could be wrong, and maybe now they try to change things around. But as of now,
I hope so
they let Respawn do their things,
because
and I don't think they would change because of the success of, Apex, and then you have the success of Jedi Fallen Order, and
yeah,
as long as they
that
keep being successful, I don't think they will change things.
because like I said, Sour said it earlier, they do make great single player games. The thing is that one point of time they want to push it in some sort of way, and they literally kill it out of nowhere. They just kill it, and all of a sudden you're like, what happened to this game? What happened to this? And they do again make really good single player games. EA is really good for the single player games, and it's weird how they just out of nowhere kill it, boom, that's it. I mean, seriously, like for example, why would I take a studio that makes an awesome horror game like the team from Dead Space and make them work on Star Wars? Why leave them do their horror? No, we gotta put them over. That's that's a whole other
Well,
shit.
that's another thing, you're crazy. And the other thing is, did the studio want to do it also? Because that's another thing. Because we assuming that that's what they did, but But I have a quick question for Silent before we keep moving on.
Okay.
Are you going to play Gotham Knights? It's a little random question, but you'll see where I'm going with this.
Yes, the most popular EA game ever. Uh,
No, it's not
Gotham
EA.
Knights. Yeah, I know. Gotham Knights. Yeah, I'll play it. If it's in Game Pass.
Okay, but it's not called Batman though. It's it doesn't have the Batman name.
Is Batman dead in it?
Supposedly, supposedly. Anyway, let's keep going.
So yeah, that would be just like if I called Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Mortal Kombat Johnny Cage. And spoilers, Johnny Cage dies in the first like 30 seconds.
Oh, dear
So-
Lord, let's not
so
get
your
into
point-
that.
Well, it's
To your
not.
point is
It
moot.
doesn't have Batman anywhere though. It just says Gotham's
It
Knights.
does have Batman
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Where? In the name?
No, you got
No,
Robin,
no,
which
it
Batman.
No. In the
trained.
name. In the
No,
name.
no. You're
In the
No.
branding.
in the name.
And the name, I know where you're going to, Sablo. But
No,
again,
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
but,
we
you
get
know,
what you're saying. Yeah.
Again, I'm a Titanfall loyalist, and I will gladly say that, you know,
I love
agree,
Titanfall,
and
too.
I agree, and I really liked your idea of if you put both
Yeah.
in there and you put Titanfall first. Yeah, I think
I
that's a
agree.
good solution.
Yeah.
I think that makes it easier for folks like me who give zero shits.
I think that would be a
about
great idea.
Apex.
And then just name it an Apex Legends story or something like
Yeah.
that.
That way, I mean, I know it's a trivial thing, but it's just one of those things.
And then in the marketing, if you want to use more the Apex name, then go ahead, use more the Apex name.
I mean, maybe not, but
Yeah, but you
But
know,
one
it's
of the-
marketing. You know, they want to sell the
but like-
game. It doesn't really matter.
Well, like I said, Sablo, I mean, you don't have to worry because as long as they leave Respawn, like I said, if they leave them do their thing, you don't have to worry about anything. Now, if they start,
Yeah.
then crap. You know?
I just want that same great experience I had with the Titanfall 2, and I also want it to be longer. I wish it was longer.
I mean, I'll ask you a
Now-
question though. Have you ever played Apex? I mean, the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's awesome.
the same as
yeah,
Titanfall.
it's the same
Titanfall.
universe. It's the same universe.
Yeah, it's the same. You're pretty much playing Titanfall, but without the
Yeah.
Titan. That's all.
Yeah, but it's the same universe.
It's good.
That's why it has the same movement and everything.
Yeah.
And the characters are similar. Now, I have a quick question before we move on also to both of you
Alright.
guys. Would you want Titanfall 3 or whatever this game is to be like open world, or would you like it to be, you know, kind of like a closer game, like, you know, kind of like the first one, like more like, you know,
No, the first one or the
where it's
second
straightforward? Yeah, you get what I mean. Like the
Yeah.
first one doesn't even count. It's not a story. It's just multiplayer
yeah.
and it's
It is
lore.
a story.
It's lore,
No,
man. It's
absolutely.
lore.
It's not.
It's lore, man. It's not.
Number
It's-
one is not.
It's not a story.
lore.
It's lore.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with him on that one.
Yeah.
When you tell me something as you're dropping my character out of a ship down to the ground, that's not story.
Exactly.
That's a
it-
quick
it-
short conversation.
Then
That's like
Halo
the
Infinite multiplayer is another story.
No.
Yeah, that's like the conversation.
or with the
No,
little
that's like
trailers and no.
That's
No,
like
because-
the awkward conversation that I have with the guy at the gas station, where like he asks me a question, and I don't really want to talk, but I'm like, oh yeah, you know, the weather looks really great, and that's blah, blah, blah. Like that's how much that was. That wasn't a
It was
story.
it was a multiplayer campaign. That's what it was, but it wasn't a single player campaign.
It was
Yeah,
multiplayer.
it was a multiplayer campaign, but basically more multiplayer
No,
because you're like, what the
there's
hell
no
is going on?
Yeah,
No,
it wasn't
I'm
it.
just saying. I'm just saying what I'm reading because I searched it just to confirm. It says
If we
as
go
a
to that,
multiplayer
then
campaign.
Apex
'Cause-
is a story game. A story.
No, because
Then
again,
Fortnite. Then you know all those games have
No.
story. No.
Crazy. Let's play a game real quick, right?
All right.
If you get a candy bar and it
Yeah.
says, you know, reduced sugar or whatever,
Alright.
right?
Yeah.
Like, just like this situation, like just because
Like-
it says it doesn't mean you're not gonna get fat.
Mm-hmm.
Just like,
Coca-Cola Zero.
just because the person selling it says that it's one thing doesn't mean that it's actually going to be that thing. How
Yeah,
many
I
times
get
have
you.
we seen that over time?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that that's what happened with Titanfall, and it's sad that the part 2 came out. Nobody paid. A lot of people who actually paid attention to it enjoyed it, but they should have. Like Sarabel said, a lot of people should sit down and play it. And people
No,
are
that's
listening
that.
to this.
That playing the,
Yeah.
Seriously.
that game is
Play the campaign. Play the
FPS
campaign.
GOAT for me.
I
It's
mean, seriously,
4
it's
hours.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like 4
It's-
hours,
it's
and it's
amazing.
a
It's
quick in and
fantastic.
out, and it's worth it.
But Sarablo, on your question to be open world, no, I'd rather have it the way they do it because seriously, just the way they do it, it's just a fun game. It's a game you have to sit there and play it. The campaign is fantastic.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
If I-
Personally, like, give me linear honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's the
No.
same thing as Dead Space. Would I
Like
want
what?
Dead Space to be an open world? No.
No, no, no,
Did
no.
I
Hell
enjoy did
no.
I enjoy
No.
some of that when
I,
they tried to do it
yeah.
in number 3? Sorry,
No.
spoilers. No,
I,
I
No.
didn't. I
yeah.
didn't care for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Dead Space is one game that I definitely would have want open world. Titanfall, I love the linear, and the idea is cool of an open world, but
But
at the same time, they might not
oh wait,
deliver with an
oh wait.
open world. So
So
I'll take linear
and
to make sure
I'll
they
pitch
keep
you.
on the same.
I'll pitch you an idea though. Why don't they make like Apex and just add Titanfall into them? Like you can grab a mech all of a sudden and just shoot people around with it, just like the game is. The multiplayer is. I mean, that would make it more fun too.
What
Apex.
what are you saying?
Like for example, if Apex is part of the Titanfall universe, right?
Yes.
All right. Why don't they just add the mechs in there and make it fun? I mean, that would have been fun. Like Fortnite has done it. Fortnite
Well,
has added mechs, has added tanks, has added all that stuff. Apex should add the Titans in there.
they
And
they
just
sh-
make it
they,
fun.
they should add a mode like that.
Yeah, they should.
They
Yeah.
can make a different mode.
And that way you
I don't.
have your open world with Titanfall right there on that map.
Yeah,
It'll be open
it's not
world.
no, not the same, but
No.
whatever.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
it's on the map.
anyway, Captain.
Yeah. So I think we're going to bounce on to the next topic because I feel like we've dug this one right into the ground.
Be right back.
I think
Yeah.
anyone who cared about Apex Legends is probably not listening now.
Yeah.
So, the next thing we're actually going to talk about this evening. Oh, he disappeared. The next thing we're going to talk about is Alan Wake 2. So, director Sam Lake notes that the game is a monster, quote unquote. And it'll be one of the biggest that Remedy has written. I'd assume that probably comes up close to like Control, honestly, because like Control seems like it was pretty heavy. Same with Quantum Break. But yeah, so these details are pulled from an article that was on thegamer.com, posted by Vlad. I'm going to butcher the last name. I apologize, Vlad. Mazanko. My apologies. But anyway, so Remedy has provided another update for hungry Alan Wake fans, teasing that the sequel story is, as mentioned previously, a monster. The studio has also confirmed that it's already working with the stellar cast of actors, presumably in motion capture sessions. So, Alan Wake 2 creative director and lead Sam Lake shared a photo of himself alongside with studio's principal writer Clay Murphy. And the devs revealed that they've gotten a ton of pages written already, and more than ever, for the sequel story, which in Lake's words is, again, a monster. It was also stated that the team has already begun shooting and recording voice acting sessions as well. Sam Lake's going to be taking a short summer break. I'm not completely sure if some of the team will be on that break as well, if they're taking some time, or they dive real deep into it. But it did state that he'll be taking a break before returning to his work on Alan Wake 2. So one of the things that they do state is that a lot of work remains, but the game is starting to take more complete form in many areas. And that comes from Remedy Entertainment CEO Tero Vertala, if I'm saying that right as well, which they revealed in May, saying the sequel is in full production stage. The title is tentatively scheduled to release sometime in 2023, tentatively. And Lake previously said that a great deal of the game is already playable, although the team won't be showing anything in the upcoming months, anything big. So I guess one of the things that comes to mind for me, just based on the timing, right? Because there's not a lot of stuff that happens between the Video Game Awards and E3, right? Like you've got CES, I guess, that can land in there here and there. But the question I have for you guys, and I'll pass it off to Sour first, is do you think it'd be too soon for us to see something at the Video Game Awards for this? And that would be in November.
And isn't it this game releasing in 2023?
Yeah, so that's what they're targeting for. It's scheduled to release tentatively in 2023 currently.
Okay, then no, I don't think it will be too early because they can briefly tease us. They don't have to even show too much to us. They can start their marketing there, and I feel like for those of you that played Alan Wake is an amazing game. Its storyline it's amazing. It's a great game, honestly. And I'm very interested how the story is gonna play out for the second part. What are they gonna do? And with seeing what they did with Control, I didn't like the story as much, but I did like the game mechanics for Control. So I think this game can evolve a lot, especially now that this game will be targeted. Correct me if I'm wrong for this generation, the newer generation.
Yep.
So I think this is gonna be a more ambitious game, a game that a lot of people are waiting for. And I think, in the Games Award, they can actually, tease us with some nice things that kind of maybe, make us think the story is going one way when the story is going another way. That's what I would do. Kind of tease us a different way, a different angle where we kind of think they're going one way, and then they can surprise us in the actual game with something else. And they can start doing their little giving us information. Maybe in E3 they give us a full trailer, and then with a release date, and then we actually get the game. And I'm really, really hyped for this game, though. The first game was awesome.
Did you, real quick side tangent tied to this though, did you ever end up finishing Control? And more importantly, did you finish Control's Alan Wake experience, the AWE, as it was called?
Was that a DLC, the AWE?
It was.
Okay, I did not do that. I did finish the main game, however.
Okay. So one thing I would definitely recommend you go over, do that real quick, because the AWE, which is known as the Alan Wake experience, it goes deeper into that middle ground between like the first game and potentially a second game. Now, this is obviously before they announced Alan Wake 2 was going to come, but it kind of hinted at the fact that they were going to do more with that universe. Obviously, we had seen some things hinting at it previously. They've been talking about it for a while.
I think in Control, there were some Easter eggs, too, like in the main game.
There were, yes, and there were some things that tied to it. I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but some of the story stuff does tie into the idea of it colliding those worlds together and those people being involved. But yeah, so one of the big things with that is that, like, they did throw a lot of stuff out there. I think by this point in time, when they put in the AWE, the Alan Wake experience, they had already gotten the rights back for Alan Wake. So they were able to do all that stuff on the back end. They didn't have to worry about getting the rights from Microsoft at that point, getting the permission. So that was kind of a cool thing because it did hint at the fact that we're going to see this thing pop out, come into play. But yeah, the thing that has me wondering, and I get nervous, and I know we've talked about it before, but I always get nervous about delays nowadays because it feels like it's just such a common theme anymore.
Like it's inevitable.
Yeah, it feels inevitable at this point. It's like there's too many. If you're a juggler, there's too many balls in the air as you're trying to juggle. Like there's just too many things going on. There's too many unknowns. So I really like the idea of a 2023 release date. However, given all the information we know about 2023 so far, Sour, do you think this is actually going to release in 2023? Or is it going to get kicked to 2024, where potentially at this point we really haven't heard as much as far as people planting their flags in the ground for release?
Well, I would think they would try to hit maybe the October date, around October. And if they can't hit that mark, maybe they will see what's around them November. I don't think they would try a December release because, most of the time, big games comes out holidays. And as much as, Alan Wake, has some nostalgia, at the end of the day, you don't want to compete with a possible, just to mention some like, the Call of Duties and all these type of, heavy hitter games. So if that happens, if they can't hit October, most likely they will move it for the next year, maybe early, because, early releases, most of the time you can juggle around and there's always a month or two that there's not that much like heavy games that can actually compete, and that would be better for sales, but I don't work at Remedy, so who knows what they're thinking right now. And the other thing is, I don't really know how good they are with release dates. Like, are they a company that delay a lot, or do they usually
They've delayed a few times, I think, on some of the titles. I think, if I remember correctly, and someone can correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I think Quantum Break was fairly good. Maybe it suffered one, but that one was one of those ones where I think that, and I mean, obviously, we didn't see what happened behind the scenes, but Quantum Break was kind of a special case, right?
yeah.
Like,
I,
that was early in Xbox One time. I wonder if they kind of put their feet to the fire on that one and said, come rain or shine, like, this has to release at this point.
I wish real quick that companies, these studios, they start doing the businessman good, how you call it, good service, like, quote, like, let me just explain what I mean.
Sure.
What I mean is, like, if I own a business, or if I owned, like, or if I do any kind of service, what I do normally is, like, let's say, for example, I'm editing a video for you, and you ask me, okay, when can you edit this video for me? Let's say I know I'm gonna take 3 weeks to get your video ready. What I would do is I would tell you, okay, your video will be ready in 4 or 5 weeks. That way you have a different expectation. I hope they start doing this. Like, you think the game is going to come out 2023? Why not tell me, okay, the game 2024, announce it for 2024. And then if you can have it prepared even before that, and you find like a slot where, like, okay, this slot is convenient for me. Okay, October 2023. If I see that, I'm going to be like more surprised, and it's going to be like a better service for us, the players, at the end of the day. Yeah, I wish they go more that route rather than be like, okay, 2022, and then, oh, we have to delay it 2023, and then 2023, oh my God, we got to delay it again, because that really frustrates us. It's really frustrating.
I definitely agree with you in the fact that, it is, and you're right on the ball with this one, the fact that it's a good sales tactic. I saw it all the time when I was in previous jobs of under promise and over deliver.
Yes,
it's a thing I've said time and time again, and it holds true in this situation. I know I've been on this multiple times, but the way I view it, if you have a game and you're not certain, or there's any possibility that sucker is going to get bounced out of the release date that you give us, don't give us a release date. Give us a release window.
Remember that, real quick, that Games Award showcase where Aaron Greenberg said, lower your expectation. We're not showing anything big. Yes. And then they show Perfect Dark. Oh, yeah. I was flipping out. I was like, what? Perfect Dark? That's that's what they got to do more.
Oh. Yeah, and that's, I mean, I know it's a double-edged sword, because inevitably, like, if you tell people over and over again, okay, don't expect this until this, and you show up early, like people are going to expect it, and then that's going to skew the situation as well. But I definitely maintain that mentality, especially myself, is just, again, don't give me a release date, give me a release window. If you can hit 2023, I am stoked for you. I'm stoked for me as a video gamer, but do not give me a date until you have a better idea. And I understand that there are shareholders involved and stuff like that, but I feel like a shareholder wouldn't be very upset if you gave them a good window, a reasonable window, and you over delivered, personally. But crazy. We're coming to you, bud. So, Alan Wake, I'll bring the same thing to you, right? Do you think it'd be too soon for us to see something at the Video Game Awards in November at the Keighley's? And yes, I said that wrong.
But when will because remember they pushed it a little bit further because since God of War is coming November 4th, I think it was pushed further.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we call that the GOW protocol.
Yeah. Since Horizon didn't make it, and now God of War has to, so yeah, okay, we get it. No worries, Jeff Keighley, I get you, no worries. But will we see something? I totally agree with you, brother. I think we will. I think seriously we will see something, because I mean, when was the last Alan Wake game made?
The last Alan Wake was 2006, 2007.
It's Remedy that's working on it, right? Remedy, right? The guys who made Control, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's check out real quick. When was Control game? When did it come out?
Huh? Wait. Oh, you're going off of when Control came out? So Alan Wake was May 14th, 2010. I shot that by a lot.
But wait, they made a remaster this year, didn't they? They did a remaster of it, or what? Or they updated it, wasn't it?
Of Alan Wake, yes.
Oh yes.
They
remaster.
Yes.
Yeah,
guys, I'll be honest with you. If they make Control in 2019 and start working on Alan Wake, I don't think it's coming for 2023. Or they probably could have a trailer, but for 2023, I don't know, because 2019 was the year that they made Control.
I mean, what was the year they made Control?
2019. 2019.
Okay.
So the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 4 years.
It is possible. It's possible because they have the lore already.
I'll inject also, though, the fact that you do have to keep in mind they did have some pretty decent DLC to those, because like I mentioned, the Alan Wake experience, for example, and it wasn't massive, but it was a decent enough amount that they ended up bringing in. They brought in the actor. He ended up doing the voice acting. He ended up doing some visual and stuff for it.
But wait, real quick fun fact: Quantum Break came out in 2016, and then Control came out in 2019. So yeah, I think they'll make it.
It's feasible.
I think they'll make it. I think they'll make it. Yeah, they'll probably make it. Just looking at that, because we gotta get our facts straight. Because usually games take 5 to 6 years to make. So it's probably a big team and they're divided. So yeah, I think they'll probably make it. We'll probably see a trailer, on the Jeff Keighley show after God of War gets announced for Game of the Year. But yeah, okay.
So that I guess was another thing for me, right? Is like, I think, and we can talk about this obviously as we get closer. We're a long time away. We don't have to speculate.
Because I'll be honest with you guys. If you guys ask me anything about Alan Wake, I don't remember shit about the game. I don't remember.
I remember some things, but it is a pretty confusing game. I'll tell you.
I remember you needed a flashlight to flash the shadow.
That's all you remember, Crazy?
Shoot it.
Okay,
that's all I remember. That's it. And I remember like there was this. What's it called? This.
So you don't remember anything about the whole storyline, like the main story?
I'll be honest with you. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember shit.
You guys are.
No. I remember. some of
I
the
remember there was
storyline.
this
Like,
thing that
he was.
what's that
Two-
thing called that used to guide ships in the night? What was that thing called? What used to guide ships at the night? Oh crap, I forgot. Watchtower, ship tower. What's
The
it called?
lighthouse.
A lighthouse. I remember there was a lighthouse in the game, and I remember that he has to use a flashlight
There's
and
so
he shot the
much
shadow
detail.
people.
Oh my god. So this is what I remember. I do remember, he's a writer, and
I know that. Yeah.
and his basically the story, one of his story he wrote is coming alive, and he's kind of like
Okay.
reliving that story. And
Okay.
within that story, his wife is gone missing. He's looking for his wife, and that's basically the main plot of the kind of like of the story.
Yes.
I probably remember
Story-
some other things, but I gotta put the pieces together. But that's how kind of the game goes.
That means Louis go back to it and play it. Yes, that's what it
Yes,
means.
yes,
Yeah.
it does. Especially
Alright.
because you can play, if you're not going for the achievements and stuff, you can play through it in a good six to 8, maybe roughly.
Yeah.
It's not super long, like unless you're achievo hunting, which I did on my last run on the 360 version. Literally, I kid you not, 2 weeks before they announced the remaster was coming out.
Just
So-
use wisely your ammunition. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. Use your ammunition
Yeah.
wisely.
I know,
It's-
no worries. It's like
you increase the difficulty.
it's pretty
Oh,
much
yes.
like you within Resident Evil stuff. Use your
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I know.
But yeah, so Sour was right with that though, and the fact that basically like one of his stories comes to life.
Okay.
And so, like in reality, these things occur. I won't say anything more since obviously since there's a remaster.
Well, I have a
really-
question for you since you're more of an Alan Wake fanatic.
Sure.
The story is based on Sam Lake, right? I think is it Sam Lake?
Alan
No,
Wake.
Sam Lake
Who's
is one
the
of
writer?
directors.
Oh, one of the
Yeah.
director. Okay.
Alan Wake.
Isn't it based on a real writer though? Like, are there real books or no?
What?
No. Okay.
No.
I was wrong then. Okay.
They made,
Never mind.
They made ones tied to the game. They did like fiction books released for it.
Okay. That
I
was
actually
it.
have it upstairs. I've got the book upstairs.
Okay, because I knew I saw some books, but I was confused. Okay, I was gonna ask
No,
you
they have.
if. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, they're no. To my knowledge, I mean, maybe I'm way wrong on that one, but those are not tied
No,
in.
I'm probably wrong. I'll take that.
But yes, so I would argue with both of you, making me sad and about giving me a bit of an embolism just now, that both of you need to go through the remaster. And I would argue anyone who hasn't played that yet, the remaster is absolutely worth playing. There's a lot going on with that one. So I guess that is an interesting one. And one thing that I will throw is kind of a little bit of a fold to this whole situation. So you mentioned, Crazy, that you think that a trailer will show during the Video Game Awards.
Yeah, they could. I totally
thing
agree.
that-
They could.
The thing I'm going to add to that, because there's been evidence in the past that these type of things occur, I think Sam Lake will be there to announce and show off the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So obviously, again, we're way far away from this one. So bookmark it. Months down the road. 4 months down
Wait.
the road. But yeah, I'm gonna say he's there.
We got a new
show.
insider.
Yep. I talked to Sam Lake 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes before the show, and he said, "I can promise you that I will be there."
I wish I had your voice right now. I will be like exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yep.
There you go.
It all happened while,
Exclusive.
and I was there. It all happened while you were doing your dookie, Sour Blue. That's gonna happen.
I will tell you one thing for sure, though, is because they are tied in with 505, there's going to be no Xbox exclusive.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
We will see it everywhere, of which, you know what? This is another thing that I was going to touch on real quick. But what do you think about, I mean, personally, for me, and I'll just lead it off, but I think The fact that they got tied in with 505 and the fact that they've gotten the rights to these things for themselves. They're free to do with what they want on these. They don't have the rights tied into Microsoft, Sony, whatever. They can actually release these things multi-plat. For me, I think this is a big win because this allows us to get Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, all these games to more hands. Just a real quick yes or no on this one. Sour, do you think this is a good thing? Do you think exclusivity is a bad thing?
Oh, yeah, in general, yes. Do I think this move is good? It could be good, but it could also go sour. And this is why. For example, let's look at I don't know if you guys seen the whole Calypso protocol situation right now, where one platform is going to receive exclusive content and then the other is not, which is pretty sad because, I'm still going to play that game, day one, and I am going to probably play it on PC because I want the best version of that game. That game looks awesome. But it's sad that, it's a game that I'm super hyped for, but I know that I cannot get the best version in terms of content because of, this exclusivity deal. And this is something that, that could happen with Alan Wake because unfortunately, there's a platform that loves doing that.
Yes, there is.
Right.
Crazy, what do you think?
The whole exclusive
This one's
thing.
a rough one. I was looking forward to throwing this at you because this one's always a challenging one. No matter what you say, you're wrong. So just prepare.
I'll be honest with you about the whole exclusivity thing. For me, that's all crap. They should stop doing that. It pisses people off. Seriously, it does piss people off.
Yeah.
If they do not learn the lesson yet, again with Marvel Avengers, and that's a big example. I remember that was a big chaos when they announced that on PlayStation you will be able to use Spider-Man. You guys, you do not imagine how many Spider-Man fans were pissed off because of that. Seriously, you literally killed your game right there by just doing that. And you do not know how much damage you did with that. And not only that, they released the character, and the character was like that. But either way, though, just announcing that you literally killed that game for Spider-Man fans.
I like your version of how it was when it released. That was amazing. Could you do that again real quick so I can record that for later?
That.
Yeah. Add the
That.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, man.
It's hit and miss. Like certain situations, it's great.
See, it was happening with Destiny. I remember PlayStation had like some exclusive stuff on Destiny.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, why? I mean, why don't? And either way, it didn't motivate people to go buy a PlayStation because you got like an extra weapon or something like that. Seriously, it didn't motivate them.
I think.
But, okay.
I think the one that was the most egregious, to my memory, and maybe you have one in mind that's different, was Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I think it was a couple of years ago. It was the one where the exclusivity was a year on a single mode.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you're delaying this in a game that's an annual release, or at least it was at that point in time. You're going to expect me to come back and play that mode when a new version is already coming out?
Yeah.
Or even if not, like you expect me to revisit this game in a year.
Yeah, that's what got people to go buy a PlayStation, because if they're big fans of Call of Duty, they're like, oh yeah, let me get my experience right here. Because yeah, on that side, fans of Call of Duty would do that. But I'm saying, like, for example, Callisto Protocol, which is just a new game that's coming out. It looks awesome, looks fantastic, it looks real cool, which we all know Sablo ain't gonna play because he's gonna run away from it. But because
I'm playing Fear right now.
Yeah, right. You get scared of it. We all know that. But anyways, like I was saying, Callisto Protocol is a new game, and it's gonna get exclusive content on that. It's not gonna get people to say, "Hey, let me go run over there and buy a PS5 just because of that." If you get Call of Duty, then that makes sense. But new game, seriously, guys, like I said, it pisses people off.
You
Example,
know,
like the big example, Spider-Man with the Marvel Avengers game. Oh, it's only going to release on PlayStation.
yes.
I mean, it got into a huge argument. Everybody was like, yeah, Sony owns the rights of Spider-Man. And I was like, they do not own the rights in video games. Yes, they do. They do own the rights. Everybody was arguing about that. And so I asked myself about the new Marvel game that's coming out. Spider-Man's going everywhere. So do they have the rights to Spider-Man in video games? I guess not. But either way, though. But yeah, cool. But
You
seriously,
know,
that pissed a lot of people off. I really
crazy.
did.
I think some people are obviously going to be torn on this, depending on what
Yeah.
side they're on,
Yeah.
what they think about the DLC. But I think
Yeah.
one thing that we can agree on is our next topic, which
Yep.
is that Ubisoft says Steam DLC removal is a misunderstanding. So we're going to jump into this one real quick, but initially, a number of Ubisoft games and DLC were announced to no longer be available for sale on Steam. And they were noticed, the notices were going up that the content itself will no longer be accessible as of September 1st, even if you bought it outright, which is rough. So one of the most prominent examples was Assassin's Creed Liberation DLC, which was only recently on sale on Steam for 75% off. So a bunch of people bought it, I'm sure, at that price. But players are now being told that the purchase will be effectively deleted within 2 months. While Liberation is still available as part of the AC3 bundle, that would require players to purchase another game to get the game that was just taken from them that they'd already bought. Of which, on its own, that's a rough scenario as well. But we
Yeah.
continue on
But
because the saga continues. I'll
Ooh.
get to you in a second, Crazy.
okay.
Now, Ubisoft, in a statement to IGN, says that this was simply a misunderstanding and that the storefront information is wrong. As stated in the support article, only DLCs and online features will be affected by the upcoming decommissioning. Current owners of these games will still be able to access them, play, or re-download them. Our teams are working with our partners to update this information across all storefronts, and are also assessing all available options for players who will be impacted when these games' online services become decommissioned on September 1st, 2022. It has also been our intention to do everything in our power to allow those legacy titles to remain available in the best possible conditions for players, and this is what we're working towards. So, I want to jump into this one because right off the bat, and I'll start it off right off the bat, I feel like this is a game of I got my hand caught in a cookie jar. Because Ubisoft opted to do something, and this is purely speculation on my side of things, but Ubisoft decided to do something, their hand got slapped for it, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. We didn't mean to do that at all. Okay, like you're just misunderstanding what we're doing here because what you're thinking is really bad. We're not doing that. That's not something that we did. Sour, do you think this is a situation where it's just clearly a misunderstanding, or do you think this was something much like the Xbox Live occurrence that we had a while ago, the gold occurrence where the price increased? Do you think this is a scenario where they were testing the waters to see if this was acceptable? They got their hand slapped and they said, no, that was totally not our intention.
Oh, it was a misunderstanding, all right. Sure. Yeah, no, it's Ubisoft being Ubisoft and
Yes.
trying to test waters. And unfortunately, this is not only happening with Ubisoft. Many other companies they're trying and testing waters. They're seeing what they can implement and trying to see as many ways as they can, to get our money. Look what Sony did with the $70. They were testing waters. It went through, No one actually, no one demanded them to lower the price back to 60. So now we have $70 games. And Xbox tried it with the gold, and thankfully, people actually, weren't happy with that, and thanks God, that didn't happen, and it's gonna continue to happen. It's happened. The people have tried it with the NFT. You that are a car fanatic, I don't know if you've seen lately the whole BMW thing. What's going on with BMW? Have you seen that, Silent?
Not recently. Is BMW pulling
Oh,
what Porsche did for a
oh
long
well,
time?
well, sit back, because this one you might fall back with this one. So
Okay.
apparently now the BMWs, they're gonna come with they're of course, like every car, now any modern car, you got the seat heating, right? Well, they're
Mhm.
gonna block that, and in order for you to get that, you have to pay a monthly subscription in order for you to use it.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were gonna say that we were getting stuck in the fact that like, so for a very quick lesson for people who haven't paid attention to this stuff in the car racing scene, Porsche was a prime example for years and years and years. I think EA had a hard time for a long time with them. Same thing with Turn 10 and Forza and stuff, of where the Porsches didn't show up and stuff. So I was thinking that you were saying it was going to be a scenario like that where we don't see their cars for months and months and months until like way after the launch.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that they're literally pay gating. So this is
a
this
feature,
is like
a feature that's in the car.
So you're saying that this is essentially the real life version of horse armor from Oblivion.
Yes.
It's there, it exists, but unless you pay us for it, you don't get to play around with it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. I think, I mean, I guess I would say, not to go like too alarmist or anything, Sirius XM's been doing the same thing for years, right? Because Sirius XM, you've got it baked into most of the new systems nowadays. Like I had a free trial on my new car. You have to activate it, otherwise you're not going to continue with it. But that is a whole different level of scumbaggery.
Yeah.
The idea that you could jump in and be like, "Oh, I need my heat because it's winter," and they're like, "Oh, for $4.99."
No, $4.99 is $18.
Oh,
I was like, what? This is
for
ridiculous.
$18 a month?
Yes.
A month, I assume.
A
Awesome.
month.
What to warm your butt up?
Yep. This is and as ridiculous as that sound, that's exactly what I myself and many others have been criticizing the Sony platform for PlayStation. They have a console, the next gen, sure. You pay for it, you buy it, but then they want you to pay more to use features that you already pay for because you already bought the
tax.
product. So
Yep.
it's ridiculous. It's insane, and that's the same thing that's BMW is doing. And then many other companies, they're just trying different ways on how to get your money instead of concentrating on, okay, let's make, if you're a studio, let's make great games. Let's make a great experience so players can get invested in this world, in this game, and they can give us that money.
I and granted, I know not everyone's into car talk, but I would argue, going back into car talk for just a teensy second, I would say, you know what? Just like video games, right? Like if you want extra money from me, that's fine. Give me extra cosmetics, stuff like that I can buy, right? So I would
Yes.
argue in a real life scenario, okay, you've got aftermarket companies that make all these other things that people buy all the time, right? You've got you've got your light skins, like your stickers, stuff like that. You've got all these different aftermarket mods that you could put out as a company, sell it at a slightly lower price, and make back some of that money instead of trying to charge someone $18 for heated seats. Like, that's, feel free to charge me for anything extra that's not already in the car, but if it's already there, you can kick bricks. But anyways, sorry, that's my car tangent. Crazy.
Can I ask
Crazy.
you?
It's all you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm kind of lost though. When we talk about the old Ubisoft drop thing, and all of a sudden you guys went to descriptions, well, I got kind of lost right there. I
Did
didn't
you?
put my. Yes, I did.
Did you get
These
lost?
Yes, you were on the
Well-
Ubisoft subject, and you all jumped on subscriptions. Like,
Well, I made it all about, all the companies that they're coming
okay,
where
okay.
all the scummy, schemes and stuff. That's
Okay,
what
okay.
that's what
Oh,
more
okay,
my
okay.
correlation was about.
Okay, cool. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
so
I was
reeling it
kinda like,
back
okay.
in. Yeah.
All right,
so
let's go.
reeling it
Let's go back
in.
into the Ubisoft thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
Here's the thing though. They were talking about games they're gonna practically remove, right? Not remove, but for example, you got DLCs in some old games, right? For example, they're gonna take away the Far Cry 3 multiplayer. There's a couple of them they mentioned they were gonna take away, right? But here's what they said though. They say if you own the copy of Far Cry 3, you can actually download it and play it.
Yeah,
what
but
you cannot. But wait. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
What you cannot play is the multiplayer online. That means that's gone.
Yes.
It's like me the other day when I bought the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare game. I was like, oh man, I was like, I bought this. I played this game a long time ago, and it was in 360. And I was like, I hope the online works. And nope, it doesn't work. I was like, oh damn it, I love the online on that thing. I mean, if it would have kept on working, I would have played it a lot more. But again, if the player count dropped and stuff like that dropped down on them, I mean, why keep the servers open?
Yes.
But again, DLCs, because here's the thing. The people who buy physical CDs are gonna be like, hey, I have a physical. Since I have a physical, this won't happen to me. I'm like, yes, it will. Because seriously, if you put the game inside the Xbox and you start playing it probably, and you gotta download like how it goes online in order to download the patch, it's not gonna be available for physical CDs either. You're gonna lose it at the physical CDs, and you're gonna lose it on the online, on digital, on both sides. So, in a way, if you pay for the DLC stuff, they should give you something to what's it called? What's that word? Sour blow? Like they
compensate.
Compensate. Yeah, that's the word. Compensate, because you bought that DLC. Because seriously, this should, or unless you can make it that it can work offline, which is cool. If not, give something back to compensate, because really people pay for that. People out of their hardworking money, they pay for that.
Yeah.
Same thing with PlayStation. What happened 5 days ago, which nobody talked about. I'm actually really amazed that I was even looking for the article to talk about it, and Push Square finally today is talking about it. This article came 5 days ago. They were saying they're gonna take away 300 TV shows and films away in Germany and in Australia, right? Due to a license agreement. So the question is, how are you gonna compensate the user?
Yes.
Seriously, how are you gonna compensate me, because I already have that concept bought? I mean, what are you gonna do with me? I already bought that out of your digital store. So PlayStation, what are you gonna do? And I even said it. I mean, people need to jump on that and say, hey guys, seriously, how are you gonna compensate me with this? Because let's say I have 10 movies that I buy and each of them cost $20. That's literally like times 20. Let me do my math real quick. That's literally $200. I spent on movies and probably TV shows. How are you guys gonna compensate me on that? It's my money. I worked and wasted and to buy that and to have it on my digital store. So you guys, due to a licensing problem, what are you all gonna do? To compensate me?
I think the negative connotation on that and the reality of it at this point, right, is you agree to a EULA and end user license agreement that says that these are available to you
Yeah.
at our discretion. And
But
if we choose to not carry them for you anymore, you are SOL. Essentially, is what it
yeah,
reads. Like that's the
yeah,
long and short of it.
yeah. But here's the thing, though. With Microsoft, they said they were gonna take a lot of 360 games away. But if you do own them, like I say, like I just quit playing games and I don't have a username, they're still under my email account. I mean, they are still my game, no matter
No,
what. Yeah,
no,
they did say that. They did say
they're
that the other
they're
day.
not still your game. There's still an entitlement for you to play that game.
Oh,
If
but,
things
but
changed, they could take that away. They could
no,
make it
but
so it's no longer available due to certain licensing restrictions.
no, but I mean, I can download it and play it. Those 360 titles,
Yeah.
even though they
If
don't have online though, but I can still download them and play it, and for something I pay for.
But
But
if
like I
the
said,
licensing doesn't change, yes,
yes,
it can
okay.
still change because you
But
sign you agree to an end user license agreement when you sign up for these
so
things.
so
yeah.
so literally physical and digital, we are screwed in video gaming pretty much.
Well, here's and that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is like
Yep.
even with movies, just like games, because I have a bunch of friends also that go into the physical side of it, and they're like, physical is the only way to do it, blah blah blah. Physical has not been the same as it was years ago for a long time, because most of the things that you have to have an authentication and verification checkpoint to recognize, okay, this is not a pirated disc, so I have access to that license for now. But again, that's all it is. It's a checkpoint saying I have access to this license. They could jump in, they could say, hey, Crazy Louie, you can't play your Titanfall 1 anymore.
Yes.
They could do it. Now, is it rare? Yes. Do we see scenarios like Forza or even the original Alan Wake where they took out a couple things that were copyrighted or that were licensed, the license expired, so they were able to adjust it accordingly and still re-release it to be digitally downloaded? Yes. You even see in movies and TV series, like this is going to be a long pull, but a TV show called Roswell had a song from a band called Remy Zero. And when I went back to watch that TV series on the DVD, they had actually shifted and changed it to a different song because they no
Oh,
longer had the licensing to
that
have that song in there anymore,
that
which is like
happened.
what you see happen with like Forza Horizon 1, 2, and I think 3. They all got pulled for a little while, and then they came back without those songs or whatever, you know?
Yeah, since you're talking about that, I remember that happened the other day with Dawson's Creek. I mean, I was like, I put it on Netflix, and there wasn't that song that goes, "It's to be over," and you got like this new song, and I'm like, what the hell is this? That literally messed up the show's intro. It was such a
No,
bad. No,
crazy.
Okay, crazy. That
Crazy.
just earned you a little timeout.
we got
How
why?
about that?
because
Uh,
of all the things that you could have brought up, you brought up Dawson's Creek. Oh man. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. You know what? I think that's a perfect time for us to shift a little bit. You know what? We have a second. We're going to talk about dessert for a minute before we land this
Alright,
thing, right?
Here we go. Dessert. Oh wait.
all right.
Wait a minute.
For dessert.
There you go. You're all clear,
How about-
crazy.
I'm all clear to take it over.
Yes.
All right. Today I get to handle the dessert because Sour didn't want to handle it because he said it's too sour for him to handle. So, guys, Bandai Namco confirms it's been hacked by Ransomware Group. Bandai Namco, publisher for games like Pac-Man, The Tales of the Series, and Elden Ring, has confirmed it's been hacked by a ransom group called Alpha V. So literally, the alien from Alf came in and hacked them. Okay. The confirmation follows a report earlier this week from VCG that a group has successfully infiltrated Bandai Namco based on the post from VX/Underground. After this, an image have been flying that suggests a series of games will be coming soon. We ourselves won't show this list or mention the exact content. Yeah, we will mention it. What do you mean we won't mention it? We did not take a few minutes to name some of the games we want to see come back from Bandai Namco. But here's the thing, though. Why don't we mention it though real quick? Because I have the list here. I added it real quick to mention the famous. Again, I'm hinting my two fingers list that quote unquote supposedly leaked. They said that on 2023, these are the games that Bandai Namco are supposedly to launch. That's what basically supposedly said the hackers. Armored Core, you got Dragon Ball The Breakers. That's a weird name though. Little Nightmares 3, Dragon Ball Fighter Z Super. That one's got me super hyped. That's actually true because I love Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It's a pretty fun game. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth 2. Sour, aren't you excited for Digimon? You're a Digimon fan. Elden Ring, Barbarians of the Badlands, Tales of Ascension, Tekken 8, and last but not least, Code Vein 2. That supposedly is the list that they are supposedly leaked out that is coming up for next year. I mean, guys, are you excited about it? Or are you happy about it? Of the names that I mentioned? Or you just...
So
Yeah.
real quick, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
throw this out there. Obviously, like
Yeah.
context with this, I'm not for the fact that unfortunately this stuff was leaked. You know,
Yeah.
it's a scenario, right, where like as a dev team, I could only imagine if I were, you know, on the Tekken dev team or something like that, and it was
Yeah.
a surprise that this was
Yeah.
coming. It sucks that it's been leaked. It sucks that it's widespread, but it's out there now.
Yeah.
But I will tell you straight up right now, and I'll make it quick. The only thing I'm interested on there is Tekken 8. So
Yeah.
you can send it right on over to Sour.
How about you, Sour? Which
I'm
has you a little bit excited? Because again, I mean, I wanted to go through that list because we don't know if it's actually 100% confirmed. What we know is they've been hacked, yes, but we don't know if that list is actual like 100% sure. But what do you think though? Which one has you psyched up?
honestly, I'm not really like super hyped for any of them, to be honest. So I
Only
don't.
if it was Scarlet Nexus too, yeah, you would have been excited.
I I mean I would play it, but I'm not like none of those games really excite me that much. I would prefer that they start building more like original IPs rather than using a lot of like animes and stuff like that, and building like new IPs. That's something I would prefer. I think they have a lot of potential, but I don't know. It just none of them really grabs my attention. So I'll
Be
pass it
honest
back
with
to
you.
you.
Like I'll be honest with you, I'm with Simon right there, and if it's actually true the list, I mean, as a dev team, I would have been pretty mad because maybe this was a surprise. For example, Tekken 8,
Yep.
it's a huge fighting game, and a lot of people love it. And yeah. Also, you got the Digimon story, which a lot of people are fans of Digimon. I mean, it's pretty cool that there's a new Digimon game. If supposedly it's gonna come out because we don't know yet. Saying it would be pretty cool if that game will actually be announced.
Uh,
I love Dragon Ball Z, so that one's got me pretty hyped. But like I said again, um as a dev team, I would have been mad. I mean, seriously, I would have been mad. I would have been mad. I would have been like, oh man, they leaked this out, and we worked so hard to keep this a secret, and now this is out. They hacked us, and this is out. But again, we're not confirming that it's actually real. We have to wait down the line to see if that leak was actually real. So yeah, we have to wait for that down the line. But either way, I would have been mad too. I would have felt the same thing what Sam said. Really mad. So I guess it's time for us to go to our descent. Captain, take us down, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip. We look forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I leave you with today's crazy co-pilot, Crazy Louie.
All right. It's time for our outros. Who should I begin? Let's begin with Sauerblow. Let's be nice today. Sauerblow, tell everybody where we can find you, brother.
You can find me on Twitter, Sauerblow18. Also on Xbox console, Sauerblow18. And you can find me here every Wednesday, of course, at 7 p.m. Xbox International. Please subscribe in YouTube, Sauerblow18 also, all the same, because I have a little surprise. It's coming soon. So start subscribing pretty soon. It's new content is coming out there. Something I have been working hard on. So there's some content coming out in that channel. So that's all I'll say. That's my little tease.
All right, that's cool. Silent Cypher, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Right, well, as always, you can find me all over the internet, in social media, all those things, as Silent Cypher, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. I am all over the place, but I am also specifically lurking throughout all the different shows throughout the week. You may not see me chiming in the text and in the chat and stuff, but I'm always hanging out, just checking to see what everyone else is up to. Be involved in the conversation to an extent when I'm at work, as much as I can. But no, I just want to say real quick, thank you so much, chat, this evening. You guys killed it. It's great to have you guys on board with us and hanging out with us during this trip. And yeah, Crazy, I'm going to pass it back to you, bud.
All right. First things first, chat. You guys were awesome. You guys rock. You guys, as always, coming through each and every week around here, hanging out with us. Thank you guys. Really had an awesome way. The way you guys just ran through the whole show, just talking and commenting. Really fun, guys. And you guys posted a lot of cool stuff today. Awesome chat. Really awesome. Lots of good information. So, where can you find the crazy one? You can find me at Twitter at Crazy Louie Gaming, doing all sorts of crazy things each and every single day, saying good mornings and doing a couple promos, which I'm gonna start doing them back again, baby. Yeah. And also, you can find me here every single Wednesday at the Crazy Louie Gaming YouTube channel, Xbox International, at 7 p.m. EST with my brother Silent Cypher and Mr. Sauerblow. So guys, please again, subscribe, hit the like button, share out this channel, and as I always say, remember. Let's go. Let's rock and let's get crazy. Yes. See y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.